What's up, folks? This is Dan from Discern. This is Christmas weekend, and I debated whether or not to release a video. I was thinking, not really sure how many people are hopping on YouTube. Most people are, spending time with family or friends away from a computer. And, I wanted a little holiday break myself, but I came across this little Christmas EP, really enjoyed it, and couldn't help putting together a short little review. So here it is. These are my thoughts on the debut EP from Good Garden, Rejoice. Good Garden is a brand new indie rock and electronic pop-styled worship band from Boulder, Colorado. This EP, Rejoice, is their debut release, a very short little sample of their sound, 10 minutes long, 3 tracks, all renditions of well-known Christmas classics. Stylistically, this group falls right in with other groups I've talked about on this channel, like Citizens and Saints, Rivers and Robots, and even smaller groups like Lion of Judah or Graceful Closure. Instrumentally, they have your typical indie band staples: electric guitars, bass guitar, drums. But these songs also feature pretty prominent synth leads and textures. Stylistically, these guys manage to carry a euphoric energy through their simple sound. It's not intense or extreme in any sense. It's your typical reserved indie rock or pop sound, but their music is certainly engaging and ear-catching. The first characteristic you notice about this EP is that they almost entirely bucked the established melodies of these Christmas songs. Instead of maintaining the vocal melody and altering the framework around that, sort of adorning it with their musical style and flavors, they scrapped just about everything but the lyrics and the general verse-chorus structure and built up from there. And honestly, I think they ended up with more personally characteristic and dynamic songs than they would have if they let half of the creative decisions, the vocal melody and the general chord structures, be already set in stone before they began writing. I can tell that, the sounds of these songs are more specific to Good Garden than they are to the original songwriters, which is not always the case when it comes to Christmas music. The first track, What Child Is This?, was a total earworm for me. I could not put this one down, running it on repeat for a while. The vocals in the chorus, as I've been saying, are a total departure from the original Christmas Carol. The triplet rhythm of this, this, this is Christ our King, and haste, haste, haste to bring him praise, utterly shakes any preconceived understanding of how this song is supposed to sound. Instead of feeling like they ruined a good thing, I think they succeeded in making something almost entirely new, a song that can be appreciated for being something that feels both familiar and fresh. And I also love how they shaped their arrangement to powerfully focus on the lyrics that are normally the latter half of the second verse, where it says, "Nails, spears shall pierce him through, the cross be borne for me, for you." And they used it as a dynamically building bridge. In doing so, they reorient the focus of the whole song to drive home the answer to the question, what child is this? This is Christ our King who bore the cross for our reconciliation, our King who was pierced for our transgressions. He paid our debt and forgave us our sins. And this slight lyrical rearrangement steers this song in a trajectory towards rejoicing in the crosswork of Jesus, sort of the ultimate destination of the incarnation, through a Christmas song about his birth. The next track, O Come, Emmanuel, is the one song on this EP that basically sticks to the original vocal melody and the structure that you expect. The song features more buzzy and saturated synth parts, bringing sort of an indie pop flavor, but it also has an overdriven and sort of loosely played rhythm guitar at times that brings sort of an indie rock flavor. The one part in this song where they do throw in a different melody is in the bridge, which, like the first song, is actually the lyrics that are usually one of the verses. But here they altered the melody, they reframed the rhythm and the cadence of the vocal and turned it into something almost unrecognizable from the original. As with the first song, I think it works really well. It doesn't feel like they broke the original or strayed into some unrelatable experimentalism. I think they just took the original, or in this case, just that one verse from the original song, and reworked it just enough to make it identifiably their own. And the last song on this EP is Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, the only acoustic song in this collection. And this song, maybe to your disappointment, also has had its vocal melody and cadence completely altered. Because, for a song this nostalgic for so many people, myself included, this version can take some time before it settles in. You feel a little standoffish with it at first, thinking, what have you done to it? There was so much built up into that original. But the more you sit with this one, its charm really wins you over. The new vocal melody, the plucked acoustic guitar, the light banjo I think I hear in the mix, the delicately played drums, it's all very cozy and warm. It still maintains the endearing delight and simplicity of the original. And I'm saying it again, but they did it again. They took a song that has a standardized form and anticipated shape, and they skillfully balanced a sound that's identifiably their own with a song that's identifiably not their own. That seems like a tough balance to strike, to write something that sounds like you, but not so much that you can't even call it a Christmas album. And I think they pulled it off incredibly well here on this song and on this EP as a whole. In closing here, if you have 10 minutes, which, come on, you have 10 minutes, I really encourage you to check out this EP. It's spiritually encouraging, the gospel is gleaming bright, it's musically exciting and engaging, and it's a unique expression of your typical Christmas songs. One caveat, just to mention, that I have about this album is it's obvious that this is a young band, a generally inexperienced band, and they're not superbly crisp or without some audible flaws. I wasn't digging the mix at times. The synth is sharply overpowering at times. The bass feels buried at other times. The songwriting and performances on this EP are what carried the day. Whether it can be something that you look at, like the drums being a bit choppy, they're not always the smoothest ride, it feels sort of washed away because the songwriting, the performances are so good here. It's a good EP, not necessarily because every little facet of the sound falls into its perfect place, it's flawless, it's pure. Not really, it's more just because the songwriting is solid and the performances are authentic. So with this in mind, I am eager to hear what is next from these guys, because hopefully this EP is just a teaser, a sampler for what's next, maybe their next full-length project. And I think there's a lot of potential in this band. And with the right producer, with the right engineers joining up with them, I think they could drop a really, really amazing record. So there is a link to in the description box below this video to listen to this album for yourself. There's also a link to Good Garden's Twitter. Give these guys a follow. They are a very new band, but stay tuned for what they may do next. This is the time to get in early, to say before they blow up that I knew about them back when. To discover these guys. Don't be late to the party. And all right, with that, thank you for watching this album review. If you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. New album reviews just like this release every Friday. If you have a question or a comment for me about this album, about my thoughts about this album, or about something else, you can comment below this video. You can tweet at me at discernreviews, or you could send me an email, discernreviews@gmail.com. Have you heard this EP from Good Garden? If so, what did you think of it? What did you think of these different renditions of these typical Christmas songs? I know this group has not had a whole lot of media buzz at this point. They're very faint on the radar, but hopefully I can inspire some of you to tune in to what they're doing. I hope you have an excellent and Merry Christmas. Take some time away from the internet, away from social media. A break would do us all some good. So thanks again for watching. I hope this helps. See ya.